Hey guys, hope you're having another amazing day. In this video, I'll be showing you how I replaced my sluggish Toyota car battery with a brand spanking new one, DIY style of course. So let's get into it, shall we? Having run so many gadgets in my notorious 2020 Toyota Corolla for all these years, lately I've been reluctant to keep my Android head unit on sleep mode. My original car battery has been dying these past few months, to the point I have to carry my portable jump starter around when it fails to start. The winter temperatures have been brutal this year, so I've decided to replace it with a brand new one. The Everstart brand from Walmart and Costco batteries are generally great go-to brands, but I just happen to have a lot of rewards here to redeem at Canadian Tire. They'll ask you for your make and model, and they'll get you the right size, which I already know is Group 140R. Another great tip is to ask them to find you one with the most recent manufacturer date. Here it said it was only made last month, which is pretty fresh.
Exit authorized. Thank you for shopping at Canadian Tire.
As you can see, I decided to treat my Toyota right with this new pricier AGM car battery from Motomaster's Eliminator series. AGM batteries generally have better safety, higher performance, longer life, and a bit more maintenance-free compared to standard lead-acid batteries. All those advantages are pretty much reflected in its price. It's also worth noting some car models may be a bit finicky with AGM batteries, so you may want to check with your own car manufacturer for compatibility. Here's the location of my existing 2020 Corolla battery. I do admit, I love how easily accessible the area is now compared to my older 2010 Corolla. Now these flooded batteries do vent hydrogen gas, so take extra precautions. So I got a 307 CCA rating on this old battery. A quick search for the 2020 Corolla 1.8 liter recommends ratings between 470 and 500 for OEM spec. 500 to 600 CCAs are typically found in aftermarket AGM batteries, so this brand new one should be ample enough to supply enough juice for my situation. So what we'll need on the 2020 Corolla is a socket wrench and a long extension to reach the battery mount, a 10mm socket to loosen the nuts at the terminals, an optional mini 10mm wrench if there's a limited amount of space, a 12mm socket for the battery mount, and of course safety glasses. To begin, we'll want to identify the positive and negative terminals. There's a specific order that we'll be following to remove the battery. First the negative, then the positive. Doing so minimizes accidental shorts or major sparks, since the battery does emit gases. Credit goes to which video I heard this from, but a great analogy I've always remembered is picture wearing red socks and black shoes. In order to remove your red socks, you'll need to take off your black shoes first. To make a little bit of room for the wrench, we can remove part of the brake fluid cover above. Then use our 10mm socket to loosen the nut that's clamping down on the terminal. We can then hand loosen it a bit, but not all the way off. We don't want to deal with the lost nut in the engine bay. We can work the clamp off by turning and wiggling it off if it's a bit stuck. Set it aside from the battery terminal. Now on the positive side, there may be a snap-on cover to remove. There's also a safety latch we can open that secures this module to the battery. If you feel that you may risk contact at some point with any metal, I often use a cloth to prevent any accidental contact so I can safely loosen the nut. We can now loosen and remove the battery mount using the 12mm socket and extension. At this point, we can finally remove the old battery from the Corolla. As you can imagine, the battery tray does collect a lot of dirt we can vacuum up here before installing the new battery. But first you'll want to take the opportunity to inspect the terminal clamps for any corrosion buildup. Mine are pretty clean, but you may want to invest in a metal battery brush and thoroughly remove any substances to get the most surface contact with the new terminals. Before we take a vacuum to it, just inspect the area for any loose objects or debris that we don't want disappearing. We'll now drop in our new battery, aligning the positive and negative clamps with the same positive and negative terminals. The process from here is exactly the reverse. We'll reinstall our battery mount using the 12mm socket. Now we'll install our battery clamps from positive first, then negative this time. Remove any protective covers from the positive terminal. We can apply some dielectric grease to the terminal contacts before placing on the clamp. It's non-conductive, which helps prevent further corrosion and arcing. It's totally optional. I think it's better used for flooded lead batteries prone to those issues. Now slide the positive clamp all the way down the positive terminal. You may be tempted to use these terminal protectors, which I have in the past, but I'd caution otherwise, since the battery terminals are actually tapered to the top. You may find it harder to clamp on, risking a loose connection, so I recommend clamping as low to the terminal as you possibly can. We can also refasten the module latch, making sure the bottom clip catches the lip of the battery. Hand tighten the nut, then use a wrench to tighten it a bit more. I do recommend a mini socket wrench, as you'll find it's much easier in these tight spaces. Now we don't want to go overboard and tighten it too much, just enough that it doesn't budge with a good shake. Now snap back on the plastic positive cover that the Corolla comes with. And we are done with the positive side. Now for the negative terminal, start by taking off the black protective cap if your battery has one. Place the negative clamp all the way down to the bottom of the terminal. Don't worry if you see a tiny spark from the initial contact. At this point, the car is pulling power from the new battery. Hand tighten the nut. Then use your wrench to tighten it even more. Again, don't go overboard, just enough to secure it without it moving. Now, essentially you're done. Make sure you put back any trim and clear everything you may have left under the hood. Now, AGM batteries do still need the ability to vent gases. Here, it's these venting holes from both sides of the battery. One or both need to remain open like this if your battery is under the hood like mine in this case. The gases will just expel outside. If your battery is inside your cabin, you may need to connect it to a special venting system, where one hole needs to be plugged and the other attached to a venting tube towards the outside. On this particular battery, there are instructions saying to plug one hole regardless, However, rereading this several times, my understanding is that they recommend plugging the vent hole should it be facing towards the front of the car, which would happen only if your battery was orientated sideways. My guess is to prevent the headwinds from affecting the vent. Guys, please comment below if my logic is wrong here. Just looking at my dash, it seems to be powered up already, which is a good sign. Well, my engine did start up perfectly, then dropped off, which left me puzzled. It did display the message engine stopped, steering power low for some reason. The only recourse was to try again. Now that sounded much better. My only assumption was that the car's onboard computer was optimizing itself with the new battery output. At this time, it's important to let the alternator charge up the battery by driving around. Guys, the difference of a new battery, especially one with a lot more cranking power, is quite astounding. For one thing, my ignition is now incredibly fast to start. My power windows doesn't sound at all like they're struggling anymore. I mean, everything seems to be more responsive, even my acceleration in driving. It could be a placebo effect, but I definitely wasn't expecting this. Now they do say by reconnecting your battery, it forces your car to relearn your driving habits. I think this could be useful if you do anything that would affect your driving, like changing tires for instance. But I doubt they recommend power cycling your car that often. Maybe something to keep in the back of my mind. My Android head unit still retains its settings. The only thing that visually resetted was the clock, which I can live with. What's left now is to take the old battery to the store to be recycled. Again, I gotta make a disclaimer, I'm no professional. Seek a licensed mechanic for assistance. If you like this video, hit that like button. Comment below, I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing to this humble YouTube channel, as it helps me create more videos like this for you guys. Alright, cheers.